My name's Billy Jay. I restore a lot of classic cars. Done the '69 Boss Shelby that they only made one of. I did the 1970 Boss 429 quarter horse that they made two of. I've done like 14 cars for the Speedway, Indianapolis Speedway Museum. So I restore various other stuff too, but this car is very unique. The body of this car was one of the first 15 bodies made in '53, and they were handmade cloth cars, and those 15 cars were all used for Motorama purpose cars. In other words, styling different cars. So in this photograph here, you're going to see this yellow car. There's a photograph of the Motorama. This would have been in 1953. That body was EX129. So that was 53 EX129. And when they retired the car in late 1953, the body went over to the styling department and received a styling order number of S.O.2151. And it was to become a proposal car, in other words, like a prototype type car for what they wanted the '55 Corvette to look like. So through the beginning of 1954, they kind of mildly customized the body and painted it green. It's called Bermuda green, which was a two-tone green that they used on other type of like Bel Airs and different cars, and it was either your choice of cream and green or black and green. But for this Corvette and the show car, the proposal car, they used, the whole car was completely painted green. So I'm going to kind of tie in some forensics here to prove. I've got a box of parts that the front end was damaged very bad. So all these parts, you can see the yellow. There's green, there's yellow. And if we can zoom up on this little piece underneath where the parking lamp goes, it's green and yellow. And all these little pieces, which this whole box is full of little broken parts and cables and various things. And then this is the front fender that was damaged, and you can see the yellow that's up here on the front. And then I'm going to kind of turn it on the side, and you can see green up at the top right there, and remnants of the yellow even back here. So this fender was damaged beyond repair. It was really bad and cracked. But there's even more green, as you can see down here. And yellow as well, as you can kind of see a little bit of yellow. But here's the dash. So what it looked like, of course, the beige from the '54, and then underneath, this was before I stripped it. You can see the yellow from the '53. And here's the damage of the front end. You can see the yellow underneath the headlight. And then there's patches of green. This is the fender that I took off. There's the back quarter panel, yellow all underneath the thing. There's like patches of yellow everywhere. There's the doors. Those are the original cloth doors that came off the car. Very bad condition, but yellow, green overspray. So I'm just tying in the forensics. There's the interior, what it looked like between the seats. This was kind of the center console. Green behind the seats, and then it was yellow. And then in '54, when they changed everything, it was, you know, all painted green. Up here is a photograph of what it looked like the day I removed the body from the car, and you can see how bad condition what the frame and the chassis looked like, but it was all there. I mean, stuff was just. And then this is the image of what it looked like right before the body went on. So this was in 2015. This was in 2020. And the red engine, which I will explain, I found out later that the red engine was an engineering change. And anytime GM did a modification or an engineering change on an engine, the first batch were red to identify that there was something different about it. Well, this was a very early engine, but it was they went to larger journals for the cam, and they made it solid lifters instead of hydraulic, which gave it 5 to 10 horsepower more for the 235. So, you know, a little unique piece of history. These are all books from Nolan Adams that shows this car. The Harley Earl book that shows, you know, the typical black and white pictures. I'm going to get to the pictures, but it shows, you know, the photographs of the car. And all these Corvette books, there's probably 10 different books that I've got that all shows little photographs, the 8x10 photographs that they used, you know, for display for the books. These are all original photographs. These are original photographs of the car. This is EX129, which it says that on the back of the photograph. All right. And this was EX129 in yellow. And then when it became styling order 2151, it became green, and these are all the black and white pictures of what it looked like before. So one thing that's kind of unique, which I'll get into, one side, because it was a proposal car, one side, it has the fins on the side of the car. One side was like chrome inserts. The other side was painted like the color of the car. And then where it says the Corvette emblem on the side, one was high on one side, one was low on the other side. So it was just to see if management, what they would choose on picking a car. So you can see, if you look at the picture here, the Corvette emblem is up high. And then on this one, it is down low right above the molding, which is really hard to see on that. I'm going to start with the trunk. I'm going to open the trunk. You can see the back of the car, the styling of it. All this I had to physically make. All the stuff was gone. It was not with the car. So I made patterns and copied everything as close as I can. This is the interior of the trunk, which is untouched. So you'll see the remnants of how bad it looked. But this is, again, this is forensics on this car with what it looked like. So I did not disturb anything. The paint's peeling. You can't blow it out. You can only blot it with a damp cloth, and it's not great, but it is original. And the trunk springs on this, which is really unique, because those first 15 cars, the hood springs, the trunk lid springs are brass. So they're kind of a prototype type trunk hinge. I mean, this car is sitting on its original, well, I don't know if it's the original tires, but they are original Goodyear tires. The white walls are cracked like beyond, they're just cracked really bad. This is the original brake shoes. This is when I first started taking it apart. This was the brake shoes that was put on it when it was manufactured. And because it's got this 1/4-inch groove, which they did not sell those brake shoes. These are the shocks. They're dated March. This car was completed in March. The frame, the chassis is a March chassis. But those are the original. The car's got the original shocks, original tires. There's a good photograph of what the brake shoe looks like. This was after it was finished, and I cleaned them up and put them back on. So, but you can see on this side, the Corvette emblem is up high. So I placed it. It runs even with the top of these fins, and but these are the vents that are painted. When we get to the other side, you'll see they're chrome, and the Corvette emblem is right above the molding. So another thing that's unique about this is the hood scoop. Again, I had to completely manufacture this, so I made a pattern and completely molded this, had it welded up, and so it's, you know, in the 99% exact how it was. The same little hole, the perforated grill, you so to speak, with the little blade in between. They used a Bel Air grill, cut it down, curved it, which I had to do the same thing, and then match this up to the inside. This was original with green overspray. So this side, you can see this has got the chrome inserts, the same little grill, same little trim. So it's got the little perforated, and then the Corvette emblem, of course, is just above the molding. The steering column is original. So you can see the yellow that's still underneath there when it was the yellow car. And then when they made it the beige, so I left it original. So it is untouched all the way down into the engine compartment. It's unpainted. Steering wheel, somebody sanded it, so I had to sand it and redo it. It was trash. But this is all original back here. The car never had a convertible top put on it. But this is all the forensics again as far as what the paint looked like. I put a little, because some primer got on here, so I had to bleed a little bit of green down there, but so that is still original. So it was never drilled for a top, convertible top. These top seats are original upholstery. The bottoms are completely new, but you can see this is really ragged and bad. But it's original, so we're talking, you know, 1953, 54 original upholstery. Kind of one thing that's a little bit unique on this, I think it was just for aesthetics, because there usually was just two knobs over here. They put a third dummy knob over there just so that it had three on each side. It was purely for aesthetics, no other reason. We'll get to the engine compartment. I will raise up the hood. And the most important thing on this is, of course, the red engine. But this firewall, because of those first 15 cars, this is extremely crude fiberglass through here. Same thing with the trunk, because they were hand laid. They were just poorly done, but just very, very poor fiberglassing through here. I mean, you can literally almost tell somebody like just threw it down and brushed it on there. But the cool thing is the styling order tag that's right there. It has never been removed. Those are the original rivets. I did not remove that. That is golden. I've seen a couple other cars that had styling order tags with pop rivets, and that to me ruins it. That is the original tag. So all 53, 54s, and 55s, the exhaust came out here and stuck out. But for this car, they chose to design it, and they routed it through the body, through here, and brought it out through the bumper, through the little bumperette, you could call it. And I think in 1956 or 57, they used it on the Corvettes. They used that style. Had this license plate made, exact. I told the guy, I said, you have to do this exact. And I said, it's really important that you do the fives exactly what it shows in the picture. And I had that done in Florida, and the gentleman that did it for me, he goes, well, those are Michigan fives. And I go, you know that? He goes, oh yeah. He said, those are Michigan fives. So I was like, well, that's obvious. that they chose that. But so anyway, that pretty much concludes. The car runs, starts. I've only put maybe maybe 1 mile on the car. Will not drive it. It's extremely unique. It's very rare. It's, you know, they made 353s. You can't count those first 15 because they destroyed most of those. Those were Motorama cars. It'd be kind of cool to end this with the sun is shining on the EX129. So